This conference will now be recorded.
Now we started discussing about how to read a CSV file using a pandas. So assuming we already installed the pandas in a command prompt. So and once it got installed, you have to import the pandas to your Python script. So import pandas as a PD. PD is nothing but alias name to your pandas. Going forward, instead of typing the entire pandas name, I'm going to use PD. Right now you're seeing the pandas as a very small name package name. But when I come into data analytics, you may have lengthy names like skitlearn, matplotlib. All these are different type of modules which you are using for your data analytics. So to avoid writing the lengthy names, we are going to use alias names. So pandas as a PD. So I need to read a CSV file, which is nothing but available in our folder emp1. I want to read this file. The file looks like this. So first column is an index column which I have it EAD up to city. I need to read this file. So it is normal import. It's not a from import. So I need to prefix with module name or a class name. So pd dot read underscore CSV. This is the function which I'm going to use it in bracket. In case if the file is existing in the same location of the script, then give only the file name. That will be acceptable. In case if the file is in different folder, give entire syntax in a single quotation, double quotation, or a triple quotation. So once you give in this one, store this data in one variable, nothing but here in my example df data frame. So the data whatever you read by default is going to be mode is going to be read. So the whatever you read, it is going to be under df. So when you print df, you can able to see data like this. Where is this? Data like this, the first one. So what you are finding here means the data whatever you have in the first column also is available up to city, and along with that there is an index 0 to 4. So this index has been created by default for any kind of files. So to avoid index, what I can do is I can maintain index underscore column equal to 0. So when I maintain this index equal to 0, index underscore call, system is going to be skip this column, index column 0 to 4. And you can see only the columns which are available in your Excel file, CSV file. So if you want to read the data from some database, maybe SQL or Oracle. So earlier I used to explain you how to read a data from SQL and how to write a file or how to do the exercise. Similarly, using pandas also you can able to write and read the data and do some kind of activities from that. So there are the package which will help me to connect the database to SQL is PyMySQL. So import PyMySQL is one package, one module I need to install. Second one is import pandas as a PD I need to install since I need to connect SQL system using pandas. So the module which help me to connect SQL system is pymysql dot connect in bracket the host name, username, password, and database. In case if you are going to connect existing database. If you're creating a new database, then the fourth one is not going to be there. And this entire connection, you're going to be stored in database. Now, PD pandas dot read underscore SQL underscore query. So reading an Excel file, read Excel, and reading a CSV file, read underscore CSV, reading a SQL query. Doing this exercise with the SQL query, pandas dot read underscore SQL underscore query. In bracket, the SQL query, whatever you know, the valid SQL query. So select star from EMP table, comma, the entire connection, nothing but whatever you have in the previous tab, DB. So DB. So from this connection, by writing this valid SQL query, by using this module called read underscore SQL underscore query, which is a part of pandas, the system is going to extract the data and store it into DF. So when you print DF, you can able to see the data which is extracted from the SQL. Any questions?
No.
So similarly, I want to convert some data which I extracted, which I processed from SQL. I might be extracted from SQL, Oracle, or some XYZ source. Now I need to store it into CSV file or a JSON file or some other file format. So can I able to do that? Means yes, we can do that. So here I have EMP1 data, which is nothing but this data. I call the data by using a pandas and I store it into DF. So when you say print DF, I'll get data, whatever I have it here. The first one. Now I need to convert as CSV file. 1 second. I need to store it as a CSV file, nothing but write query. So tf.to_csv in bracket, single quotation, double quotation, or a triple quotation, the file name dot extension is a CSV. So system is going to create a CSV file. Similarly, you want to create a JSON file. So df.to_JSON in bracket, the file name with an extension. So you're going to create JSON file in the same folder where the script is available. If you want the file has to exist in different folder, give the syntax, the entire path. Now I want to filter the data by using a pandas. We did all the exercises without pandas. Now we are doing with pandas. So I have some data frame, which is nothing but a key and value based data frame. So sorry, dictionary. The dictionary I'm converting as a data frame. So data, comma column names I'm giving as a column names. So I'm assuming these are nothing but column names. So name, age, gender, branch, percentage. All these are column names and the corresponding values I have it. So PD underscore data frame data, comma column names is going to be so and so. And I'm storing it to DF. So I have my database. So this is my data. Now I want to do the filter. I want the students whose percentage is greater than 80, irrespective of branch, irrespective of gender, irrespective of age or a name. So DF is my data frame where I store my data. DF is my data frame. In square bracket, write a condition. So what is my condition? I need a percentage. This percentage available where? In DF only. So DF of percentage greater than 80. Are getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Is it confusing? So when you, and I'm storing these results in DF1. When you print DF1, you will get the first one. Alternatively, you have another way to write. So df.log, as I told you, lock and ilog. So lock in square bracket, write a condition. So I need to take a percentage. The percentage is available in DF. So DF of percentage is greater than 80. That data has to be save it into DF1. So print DF1. You're going to get it this. I want only the CSC students. So DF is nothing but database, full database in square bracket, DF of branch. So branch is nothing but CSC or MSc or whatever it may be, EEE or something. So DF in square bracket branch, double equal. It's not a single equal, it's a double equal. Double equal is for comparison, single equal for assignment. So double equal to CSC. It's a string. So I given in quotation. So the condition wherever it's satisfied, that data will be copied to your DF1 and print DF. So you can see only the branch CSC. So you can able to use any kind of operators. Now I want the list of the students who are not part of CSC. So the condition is same, but instead of using a single equal, double equal for comparison, I'm using not equal. exclamatory mark equal. So nothing but not equal. When you use not equal, you'll get all the list of the all the students who was not part of CSE. Now ease in and method. So I require only the students who belongs to CSE or IT background. I want customers, students who are a part of CSE or IT. So I am writing option, some variable name. Here I taken options in square bracket, CSE and IT. So these are two things which I want to take it as a background. So it's similar like your SQL query in operator. So df in square bracket. So CSE and IT are nothing but branch. So df of branch dot is in CSE or IT. So when they are part of CSE or IT, then system is going to be consider the data and store it into df3. You can see the data CSE or IT only. As alternatively, you can write log function also. So log for string, I log for numerical data. So is in options. I want to know those students who are from non-CSE background. So non-CSE background means there can be either ECE or EEE or something else. So non-CSE I want, so tilde operator I used. In previous example, there's no tilde operator because I want the students who's a part of either CSE or IT. Now I don't want from the CSE or IT. So what I did is I just use a tilde function. If you prefix with a tilde function, that means I don't want students who is in CSE or IT. Are getting my point? Non-CSE or IT background. And you can give multiple conditions at once. So I want students whose percentage is below 70 and those people are non-CSE background. Non-CSE or IT background, non-IT background. So what I did here is df of my first condition is percentage. The percentage is part of df. So df of percentage less than 70. I not closed my square bracket. I just closed my first condition and tilde df of branch dot is in options. Options is nothing but CSE or IT. So the students who is not part of CSE are not part of IT and their percentage is less than 70. So those students list will go to df6. So you can see percentage is 56 and branch is ECC. Any questions? Okay.
No more.
Now, when you come to pandas, you have an option to restrict the number of columns, number of rows to be displayed, height and width. So if you want, optionally have an option to maintain when you're working with millions of data. For example, pd.set option, display height, 1000 rows. The height of your window, you can I can say. So the pandas.set options display maximum rows 5000. So when you open your Gmail, you have an option to just limit 50 mails has to be there in my first page, another 50 mails has to be there in second page. So you have an option to maintain a limit. And similarly, when I come to pandas, I think 100 is going to be the 100 observations. I think it will be show, thereafter it will be not show. So but you have an option to maintain 5000, extend to 5000. Similarly, this number is going to be what you are going to decide. I just mentioned the number. Similarly, maximum columns, how you want, how many number of columns you want to be displayed. I think you have a scroll button to take left side and right. So for example, you have 1000 rows, my first column, second column, third column, up to 1000 columns. When you call the data, system automatically gives scroll option to you. So you can scroll towards left or towards right to see all the columns, but you can restrict how many columns you want to be see by user. So set option display width 1000. So the window width you want to decide, you can decide it. And when you use df.head, by default you can see first 5 observations along with the column names. But I want to see 100 observations at once. So give 100 in this. So df dot head, system is going to, you can able to see 100 observations, and df dot tail of 100. So you can able to see bottom last 100 observations along with the headings. Are you getting my point? How, what is the syntax here I'm writing here?
Yes, sir.
No. So reading a specific column or specific row from the database. Can I able to read only I want the specific columns? So I want column A, column B, column C, and also I want to read only first row, second row, and fifth row. Can I able to do that? Means yes, you can do. So df dot clock in square bracket, the first before comma is nothing but specific to the row, and after the comma is nothing but columns. So before comma I'm giving 135, and after comma I'm giving customer column and order column. So 135 is nothing but second row, the fourth row, and sixth row. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. N minus, sorry, fifth row index. So that way it works. Reading a specific column from the range of rows. So from the range of rows means one column to other column, but those are subset of your all columns, all the rows. So df.clock in square bracket, range is nothing but colon. So 2 to 6. So 2 to 6 is nothing but second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row. 6 is not going to be there. 6 is nothing but 5 and n minus 1. So fifth, up to fifth row it will be displayed, comma. First column is customer, second column is order. How many rows of the data set that has how many number of orders we made using a count option. For example, I want to know number of orders or number of rows I have it. I want to see. So df of order, nothing but column name is order, df of order dot count. So the system is going to check all the orders whatever I have in my system, and it is going to be displayed. So let me show you here. Sorry, not this. Orders. Sorry. It has almost 1 million data. 1.2 million data. I want to know how many orders are there. Nothing but the count function. 1.2 million. So, but the thing is, instead of taking the column called revenue, I take a column called order. The reason is there might be empty columns also. We don't know. Who knows? The IT can do mistake. The computer can do mistake. But order is a unique number, or order can be duplicated. So I want the count based on the order, not based on the revenue or based on the status. So if you want to go with order, go with count. Count is a function which is available in pandas. So number of orders, comma orders. So orders are nothing but I written already a function. A df of order column, I want to take it. Order column is where? This one. So order column, I'm taking dot where is dot count. So count is a function. So the system is going to count all the orders which is available in Excel and store it. The number is going to be stored into orders. So when you say number of orders, system is going to display the number of orders. Is it clear? Now I can do some kind of small aggregations by using a pandas. I want to see the sum of revenue. So df of revenue dot sum. So the system is going to sum all the revenue column, and it is going to display the value in total underscore revenue. So when you see print total underscore revenue, so you can able to see the outcome of the sum. Similarly, average order value. The average order value is nothing but a mean in statistical terminology. So df of revenue dot mean, because I want to know average revenue value or order value. So the order value is nothing but the sales what is happened. So df of revenue dot mean. So the system is going to give the average value and store it into avg dot rev. And when you are trying to print, system is going to display that value. Similarly, you want to see the maximum value or a maximum value whatever you have in your data set. So dot max. Similarly, you want to see the minimum value dot mean. Now grouping. I have different customers here. Customer 1, customer 2, customer 3, and so different type of customers. So for whatever I did in the previous slide is, irrespective of the customer, I find out the maximum value and the average value. But I want customer wise the average sales. I want to know. So nothing but a group by function. In SQL we have a group by. The same functionality is here. So df dot group by in bracket on which variable you want to take a group. So customer wise. So group by in group by bracket, just give the column name which you want to be group. So right now I'm taking customer wise. Then give the column name which you want to be calculate. Do the aggregation. So revenue is the column dot mean. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to take an average on revenue column by customer. If I'm reading from the right to left. Are it clear? Earlier mean was here, the mean was total. DF in bracket revenue, which is the third one, revenue dot mean. It is across all the 1.2 million data. But right now by customer I'm taking. Is it clear or any questions? Giri or
No, Amar.
Yes, Amar.
okay. Similarly, I want to know the total revenue which I got it from the customer wise. So it's nothing but a group by function. So df dot group by customer in square bracket revenue dot sum. So earlier it was an average sales. Now I'm telling total revenue. So total sum. And I want to know number of orders created by state wise. So each state there is a state column. So order state, yeah, here. So there are three different status. One is a completed of the order, one is in process, one is a cancelled. So I want to know number of orders is a part of completed, number of orders are there in what do you say, in process, and one is the other one is cancelled.
It's cancelled.
Yeah. So order state, I want to know by order state. So if I take only the count without a group by, system is going to show 1.2. But I want by split down based on the order state. So system is going to display the count by order state. Now I have one more question. I want to know by percentage. Will I get it? So for an example, out of 1.2 million of orders, 1 million is completed, 1 lakh is not complete in process, and rest of the things are in cancel. That is the actual count, but I want in percentage. Are you getting my point?
Yes, Amar.
So try for that. Create a formula for that. Create a function. You know how to create a function, right?
Yes, Amar.
So try for that. Now this is only one column I taken as a grouping. Can I take multiple column for grouping? Means yes, you can take it depending on the need. So dataset dot group by in normal bracket, give the square bracket again to maintain multiple columns. If it's a single column, then I don't need to give square bracket. If you observe the customer or order state, whatever I mentioned within the group by a single column, so no need to give the square bracket. But when I come to the multi grouping in the last one, I have column 1 and column 2, which is nothing but two columns. So it is a mandatory I need to give the square bracket dot, I need to give multiple outcomes. So dot agg in normal bracket So I'm going to give the column 3, nothing but min, max, sum. So I need to apply on revenue 3 different functions. One is a minimum number, minimum of the sales order, and maximum of the sales order, and sum of that, comma, mean also. So if you want to do multiple aggregations by using group by function, where group by function is on multiple columns, then you can go for multi-grouping. Multiple columns you're taking help to group by, and multiple aggregate functions you're doing. Hope you're clear. Filter already explained you. Revenue is greater than 100, or order state is not equal to completed. I want to display. It's already explained. Now, those are very basic aggregate functions using pandas. By using a numpy, I can able to do much more. Where I can use numpy means when you have a data analytics, when you want to work with statistical or a mathematical operations, the numpy is going to be much better. This package is specific to mathematical and statistical operations purpose only. And it is not only for those things. When you are working with random numbers, or when you are working with deep learning, neural networks, numpy will play a vital role. So similarly, this is a third-party package. So first you need to install in a command prompt, then you can install, import into your Python script. So import numpy as a numpy, and before that pip install numpy, that one has to be there. So when I'm typing, just I type directly because it got installed, so I directly typed. So my first step is supposed to be pip install numpy. Second step is going to be import numpy as an np. So I just taken alias name as np. Now when you see the version, you can able to see the version name. Why I'm telling the version name means, every time, though these are open source programming languages, the program is always updating the versions. So for an example, your version is giving some kind of issue while working, definitely they'll give. I'm not saying no. The best example is 3.8 version has some issues with pandas and numpy. So that is the reason I requested, when you are working with pandas and numpy, go with 3.7 version. Similarly, when you are working with numpy and you know the syntax is correct, still you are getting an error. Those scenario, when you're searching in Google, you'll come to know install so and so numpy version, so and so install pandas version. So when they are telling something, just ensure that which version of numpy you're using. So when you are using np dot underscore underscore version underscore underscore, you can see my current version is 1.16.4. so the version which I'm using is this one. In case if this is good enough, I'll continue. If not, I'll find out the right version and I'll install it. So creating an numpy as an array from a list. So how to here you can see I have a list. Right now I have a list, square bracket, I have it. So print list, you can see the list is here. Now I'm converting as an array for doing some kind of operations. So when I use numpy.array, np is nothing but numpy. Numpy.array in bracket the list name and store it into array. So when you see that array, you can see the numbers are coming and the class is numpy.array. Now if you observe here, the second line and third one, the first one is with commas, and second one is without commas. And first one is also a number which I can do aggregations, but it is not an array, it is a list. But second one is an array where I can do all my statistical and mathematical operations. Hope you're clear what I'm trying to say. Alternatively, what I can do is I can use a syntax like np.array in bracket list, direct list you can give. So earlier I created a list, then I given a list name, list one. But alternatively, you can give the list directly and store it into X. So print X, you can see directly numpy array. Now on numpy array, as I told you, you can do any kind of mathematical or statistical operations. So y equal to array1 dot plus 10. Array1 is nothing but 1 2 3 4 5 plus 10. So system automatically converts 11 12 13 14 15, which you are seeing in blue color. Now I'm doing z equal to y minus 1. Since it's a mathematical, it is an array, I can do any mathematical operation. So automatically y is nothing but 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So when I use -1, system is converted as 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now on Z, I'm multiplying with 2. So 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. And when you see print W, you can see the last row. 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. So shape of the array. I want to know the dimension of the array. You can see array.shape. You can see it is going to be 5. Row is 5, comma, column is 1 only. But it's a array, so the column will not be displayed. Single array. So that is the reason you can see number of elements is going to be displayed. And type, it is an integer. It's not a float. Now you can see here np.array on decimals. List contain a float. So when you see shape, you can see 4, and when you see array type, it's a float. Now your dimensions can be like this. So we have array which has two different lists. Two tuples within the list. Two tuples within the list is nothing but 2 rows and 3 columns. So one column is 1, 2, 3. Second column is going to be 4, 5, 6. When you're converting as an array, you can see 1, 2, 3 is one column, and 4, 5, 6 in another column, and shape is going to be 2 by 3 column. And dimension, 3-dimension array. I want to create a 3-dimension array, means it will be something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Two list within one list, comma, another list has two different lists. So it is going to be 2 by 3 list. Nothing but 3-dimension array. So 2 list is going to be, the main list is going to be, this is one list and this is another list. Within that, again I have two different lists. Within that, again I have 3 different columns. So 2 by 3. The shape. Where I'm using all these things means when it comes to neural networks, which is hardcore data science, artificial intelligence. So for an example, I want to create a random numbers, and the random numbers has to be displayed for some kind of data analysis. So the random numbers should be filled with zeros. Then np.zeros. np.zeros will help me to create an empty array with all zeros. So I'm giving 2 by 2. So system is going to create 2 by 2, 2 by 2 zeros. So here you can see I want, but the thing is you can see dot button. Dot is nothing but by default system is creating a float. Now np.zeros 2 by 2 data type equal to np.integer. I'm giving. So system is creating an integer data type, and since I given zeros, it's going to create 2 by 2 zeros only. And I want to create 2D array. 2D array means two rows. I want to fill with ones only. So np.ones. So system is going to create ones. 1, 2 by 3. One main list, and two within that I have two different lists. Within that I have 3 columns. Now I want to reshape, nothing but transpose. I want to do that. Can I do that means? So in some occasions we need to reshape the data from wide to long. Wide to long is nothing but rows to columns, columns to rows. So the functionality is np.reshape, the data set name, comma, new shape, what you want. So I have my array like 1, 2, 3, one set, and second one is 2, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be 2 by 3 array. It's a normal array. I need to be converted as a 3 by 2. So I stored this one into E. So E.reshape, and I want 3 by 2. So 3, 2. So system is converting rows as a columns and columns as a rows. And flatten. So here I'm creating matrix as a matrix only, rows as a columns and columns as a rows. But everything I want to make it as a flatten. That means all the rows into single array. It is converting as a flatten array. No rows, no columns, only single array. Now horizontal stack. Horizontal stack means everything converting into single putting data horizontally. So for example, I have one array 1, 2, 3 and second array 4, 5, 6. So horizontally it is going to be append the data. So 1, 2, 3 or thereafter 4, 5, 6. Now vertical stack. Vertical stack means system is going to assign the data vertically. So you can see column wise. So 1, 2, 3, the list is closed, and again 4, 5, 6, another list is closed. So the first one is a one row, second vertical append is nothing but two columns I have, 2 rows, 2 by 3. I want to generate a random numbers for my distribution purpose. Maybe I'm doing some kind of hypothesis. So those scenario, to create a random numbers, numpy.random.normal LOC scale and size. LOC is nothing but generally we take mean, the number from where you want. The scale is nothing but a deviation, and size how many numbers you want to be generated. So LOC is nothing but the mean, the central of distribution. Scale is nothing but standard deviation. Size is nothing but number of observations you want. Observations are nothing but number of numbers. So to generate random numbers, so mv.random.normal in bracket, the first one is a mean, second one is a deviation, 0.5 deviation I want. Total 10 numbers has to be created randomly. So print the variable wherever you stored this. So you can see 10 random numbers has been created with a deviation of 0.5 from the 5. Any questions? As array. The as array function is to when you want to convert an input to an array. As array. Yes, tell me. Someone speaking? Okay. So array is going to be a function to convert as an array. Even as array is the functionality same. So the input could be a list, tuple, or an array itself. So when you have any input, it will be converted as an array. So syntax is an numpy.asArray data set, comma, data type, comma, order equal to none or order equal to true. Nothing but source. So np.matrix, I'm taking a matrix in bracket. I'm creating a matrix np.1. So when you use np.1, system is going to create all ones 4 by 4 matrix. So you can see 4 by 4 matrix is created, which is a float. One dot is there, so it's a float. Now if you want to change the values of the matrix, you cannot change. The reason is, though it's an array, it is a matrix shape, so you cannot change. I want to convert a of 2. A of 2 is nothing but third row. I want to be convert as a 2. You cannot apply any aggregation function or any manipulations on matrix using a numpy also, though it is an array. So those scenario, what I can do is I can use a function called asArray. So you can see here np.asArray, the dataset name, square bracket, which row you want to be change, equal to 2. So when you print it now, you can see the third row is changed, 0, 1, 2. So 0, 1, 2 is nothing but third row. Third row is become as 2. So that is the difference between array and as array. Array is to convert as an array for numpy operations. When you're using a matrix function kind of active values, sometimes your data cannot be changed on, you cannot able to do any kind of aggregation on matrix. So those scenario you are going to use as array. Arrange, generating a range of values. So syntax is np.arrange, start number, stop number, and step number. Nothing but creating a range from one number to other number with a step, with an increment of some number. So start number is nothing but start of interval, stop is nothing but end of interval, step is not spacing between values. So print np.arrange 11. So 11 is nothing but 10 numbers has to be n minus 1. So 10 numbers has to be created. By default, system has taken 0 and step is going to take it as 1. So 0 to 10 you are getting. So DT type set.
Hello.
So tell me.
I'm not able to hear.
What I'm trying to tell here is np.arrange. So here there are 3 steps we are there: step, start button, stop button, and step button. So start is going to be the starting number, stop is going to be ending number, step is going to be the increment number, to create a range from one number to other number, like a sequential generation. So you can create odd numbers or you can create even numbers in the same person arrange. Now here I just mentioned np.arrange of 11. So system is going to consider 11 as a ending number, nothing but stop number. But what about start? In the sense, by default start is going to be 0 in case if you're not mentioning anything, and step number by default it is going to be 1 if you're not mentioning anything. So 0 to n minus 1, nothing but 11 minus 1, 10. So it is going to be generated. Are you getting this?
Yes, Samir.
And I want to create a sequential generation for float type. So np.arrange 5 comma data type is equal to float. So system is going to generate 4 up to 4 with a dot in the sense it's a float. Now I want increment of 2. Alternative numbers I want to be generated. So np.arrange, my starting number is 1, my ending number is 20 comma 2. So increment of 2 I want alternative numbers. So 1 3 5 up to n minus 1. So 20 minus 1. So 19 you are getting. 20 will not be displayed. Line space. So this function is similar like your arrange only, but there is slight difference. Line space ka. So in this function, instead of step size, the number of equally spaced values will between the interval will be specified. So np.line space 10 comma 20 comma 5. So if I going with arrange function, if I'm going back to arrange function, 10 comma 20 comma 5 means 10 will be displayed, then increment of 5, that means 15 will be displayed. That's all, only 2 numbers will be displayed. But when I come to line space, the functionality is starting number is 10, ending number is 20, and I want 5 numbers to be displayed between these two. So between 10 and 20, I want 5 numbers to be displayed. So you can see the outcome like 10, 12.5, 15, 17.5, and 20. It is not something increment number. It is the numbers what you want to be displayed between one number to other number. That's called line space. Equally spaced between one number to other number also. Are you clear? Any questions?
No, but
So numpy, indexing and slicing. So np.arrange, nothing but generating numbers from 0 to 19. So I want the numbers, I want to slice it. Numbers between 2 to 10 comma 2. So from A, I want to take from 2 to 10 comma 2 means I'm doing the slicing activity. From this number to this number, I want increment of 2. So I'm getting slicing activity. So when you say print of A square bracket of S, so the numbers whatever I have in a S, the same numbers will be there here. So np.arrange will show all the numbers, but S is going to show only the numbers which are available. Now I want to display the numbers which are positions, whatever I have, the index numbers, only those numbers has to be displayed. So you can see 2 4 6 8. Alternatively, I can directly can give A in square bracket 2 colon 10 colon 2. System is going to display only those numbers. Accessing a particular vector, I want a particular vector to be displayed. So our particular column to be displayed, our particular row has to be displayed. So np.arrange of 10. So 0 to 9 I have numbers. I want to get the position of fifth position value. So A square bracket 5. So you can see 5 you are getting. np.arrange, I want all the numbers to be displayed from second position onwards. So A square bracket 2 colon, and I'm leaving back. So that means starting position is 2, ending position is till last. So all the numbers have been displayed. Now I want from 2 to 4, 2 to 5. When you say 2 to 5, up to 4 it will be displayed. So 2 to 4. Multi-dimension array. I have multi-dimension array. So when you say print array, it will be displayed as print array. Now I want a slice the item starting from index. So I want first row to be displayed. First row colon. When you use colon, that means from first row onwards, all the rows has to be displayed. So you can see 3 4 5 4 5 6. first colon. Now ellipsis is a similar like that only. You can see I have an array. Our array is A. You can see our array is so and so. This returns array of items in second column. So ellipsis is nothing but 3 dots. So 3 dots comma 1. So what I'm doing here is I want all the rows, but from the first column only. So since instead of keeping as a blank, I can give 3 dots. That is called ellipsis. So ellipsis is nothing but all the rows I want. So dots, 3 dots I'm just giving, comma, which column you want? 1 I want. So that is reason from the 1 column, you can see 2, 4, 5. Index point of view, 1 column is nothing but second column. And from the second row, I want all the columns. So second row is nothing but 0, 1. So 1 comma ellipsis. That means all the columns will be displayed. So 3, 4, 5. You can make it as a blank also, or you can make it as 3 dots. I want all the rows, comma, first column onwards, all the columns. So 1 column. System is going to display second column and third column from all the rows. Iterating over array. So you can able to iterate on over array by using a for loop and retrieve the data, and you can able to do some kind of aggregate functions also. Now you can see here, import numpy as a np np.arrange 0 to 60 comma 5. That means I'm generating 12 numbers 0, 5, 10, 15 and so on so up to 60 55, and I'm reshaping this one by using a reshape function as a 3x4 matrix. So all the numbers whatever I have is converted to 3x4 matrix. Now when you say print A, you can see the matrix 3x4, 3 rows and 4 columns. Now I want to retrieve the data from this. How to retrieve the data means you can able to use by using np dot nd iter. Nd iter is going to help you to retrieve the data from matrix. So any kind of matrix, nd iter, in bracket the data frame name, so A. So from this data frame, the system is going to take first row, 0 and 0, 0 and 1, 0 and 2. Row wise it will be calculated 0 and 3, 0 and 4. So 0, 5, 10, 15. It will be retrieved one after one and it will be print. You can see bottom right hand side, each number has been printed. So once the first row is completed, then it will go to second row. Once the second row is completed, it will go to third row. So nd iter is the function to retrieve the data from each cell and do operations and save it back or print. So transpose function already I explained you. So a.t. So system is going to be convert rows as a columns and columns as the rows. Similar like your reshape only. And if you want to retrieve the data from your matrix, use nd iter, you can get the data. You want to modify the data. I want to some kind of calculation I want to do it. So can I able to do that? Means yes, we can do. So the matrix has to be changed. I want to multiply with 2. So when I want to multiply with 2, what I can use x in for x in nd iter, np.nd iter, in bracket the matrix name. So A is the matrix name what I have, comma o underscore flag equal to read and write. So first I need to read the data from matrix, then I need to update the data. By default it will be read function only, it is not a write function. The for loop, whatever you are reading, you can able to read it, but you cannot able to write it back for a matrix. So what I'm doing is op underscore flags is the function which I'm using within the nd, which is a part of your nd iter. So I'm giving function as a read and write, both functionality I'm giving. So what I'm doing is x ellipsis equal to 2 matrix x. So the system is going to read all the rows from the nd iter. Wherever the system has been identified the cell, multiply with 2 and store it back. Read and write. So first it's reading, then it's writing back. So you can see modified array is so and so, and original array is so and so. So the last one for entire program. So array manipulations. I want to do manipulation for of array. So you have array like this 1 to 9, 0 to 9, 0 to 8. Now split the array into at positions. So split function you can do by using array comma 4 to 7. I want to split the data. So you can see 4, 5, 6 and array 7 comma 8. How we are getting this data means, sorry, how we are getting means I want entire data 0 to 8. For my first split has to be happen at the value of 4, and my second split has to be happen at the value of 8. So though you have an array, this array I want to split into 3 different lists. So the list I want to first split has to be happen. Where it has to be happen means wherever you can find the 4, first 4, split it there. Wherever you can find the second 4, wherever you can find the second 7, split it again there. So the system is going to create one dimension array where you have 1 row and 3 columns. Hope you're clear.
Can you repeat one time, Amar?
So you have the numbers here. You have the numbers here. I want to split the data into different. So I'm telling my first split has to be happen at 4. So my first split is here. My second split has to be happen at 7. So my second split is here. So 0, 1, 2, 3 is my first split. 4, 5, 6 is another split. 7 and 8 is another split. You can see here. So my first split is 0, 1, 2, 3. My second split is 4, 5, 6. And third one is 7 and 8. Are you getting?
Yes, Amar.
So head split splits an array into multiple subarrays horizontally, column wise. So np.array 16 numbers I want to take it. Dot reshape 16 arrange. I'm using arrange function. That means 0 to 15 I'll get it. Reshape 4 by 4. So head split I'm using horizontal. It is going to split. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So you can see horizontal split is happening. And print array vertically if you want. This is horizontal only, no? Head split only. You can able to get it like this. 0, 1. What is this? For something went wrong. This is a 4 by 4 which I created reshape and horizontal split a comma 2. 2 numbers I want to take it. So 2 columns I'm getting horizontally. 2 I used. So 2 splits. Any questions? Horizontal split. Amini Argiri?
Mohammed.
Our program is completed successfully at last. So if you have any questions, I can answer you.